Sean Diddy Combs, aka Puff Daddy, has been denied bail after being charged with sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and prostitution transportation. This is an educational video, I promise. We already know that for violent crimes such as murder, bail can be denied because of how violent the nature of the charge is. But this is not a murder charge. This is a sex-related charge. So instead of focusing on the charge itself, the judge focused on the person who was charged. Specifically, the judge relied on this 2016 video of the defendant clearly abusing his then girlfriend, stating that it shows he has violent tendencies. So the judge took these tendencies, coupled with the fact that he owns several AR-15 type weapons, and the fact that he has also contacted witnesses in his previous civil litigations against him. All of that was taken into consideration when the judge ruled that he would be a danger if he was released bail, which is the reason why he was denied. Be sure to follow and subscribe for more.
Oh man, Diddy. I think a lot of times people, well, we know what we know about Diddy is that he is someone that has just been in the news for all the wrong reasons as of the last, 10 years. And Diddy, this is the chickens coming home to roost. I don't think no one's coming out to, be on Diddy's side. I think initially people did have problems with the whole Diddy and Cassie lawsuit just because how they got there to get the lawsuit on the table. And then also why did she wait so long? And then, also conversations if she, assisted with any of the Diddy freak offs. But for them denying bail, that's insane. I heard he put up like $50 million.
Look, I try to review the facts, keep my emotions out of this. So let me tell you what I do know.
Yeah.
I have never, ever met anyone or heard from anyone that was employed by him that said that they were treated fairly, that they were paid fairly, and that they were appreciated fairly.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that used to associate with him is miserable in life. So right away, there's character issues from the jump. That's number one. Number two, we saw the video, man. We saw what he did to Cassie in that video. So that's another character thing, right?
Sure.
Cassie could have did something to him to piss him off that much, but
real quick, I heard, not heard. This was a conversation. I forget where this was, what podcast this was, but Diddy's lawyer. It was his lawyer. That's what it was. His lawyer came out and said that Cassie had hit him in the head and stormed out of the room while he was about to get into the shower. And I'm not justifying any of that stuff because if you hit somebody, they're going to probably come after you or do something to you. And what he did to her was a bit excessive, especially with the bags and dragging her. I'm I don't know how Diddy thought this was going to go for him. But also, I got more questions about why did this video become unearthed after she filed that lawsuit? That's just mind-blowing to me. So who was sitting on this information and then decided to this is the best time to unearth this video? Because we weren't going to hear anything about this had it not been for that the Adult Survivors Act in New York that allowed Cassie to go back how many ever years to file charges against Diddy. We weren't going to have this conversation had it been for the Adult Survivors Act. But again, why was that video hidden? And I know people are going to say, well, Diddy had people, but again, why did Diddy did those people not care now? Did those people hey, I don't have to worry about anything, and so I'm going to just put the video out there to clear my conscience? That makes no sense to me.
I think I call this I think it's a dog whistle, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna use Deshaun Watson as an example. The first lady that came forward and went after him with a lawsuit, immediately, lots of other women jumped in on that too. And sure. let me be clear, for those who were abused and were victims, my heart is with you. I hope you get the justice and peace that you see. But I don't believe when I see these lawsuits and a whole bunch of people start to jump in on these lawsuits, mm-hmm. somebody's lying, man. Not all of them. I think some of them just want a quick money grab.
Sure.
But and honestly, if that is the case, if what I'm saying is true, then you're being disrespectful to real women that are going through real problems like this. But this seems to me like a dog whistle that got a lot of people to jump on the money train and try to get a quick bag.
So what do you think about Diddy or the judge in the Diddy case denying him bail. Like he put up $50 million. He put up property. He even said something silly like, "I won't have any contact with women." I'm like, I don't think that really helped your case, guy. I think your lawyer or whoever gave you that advice was really giving you poor advice, because saying you don't want contact women. I mean, it was at the Deshaun Watson defense, and now that you brought that up, now
I think my only takeaway is keep me the hell out of any courtroom in New York, because I've seen how they treat people, and then they'll turn around and try to turn it into I'm putting on my cape for protecting old women.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should actually be an advocate like that if you're a judge or a lawyer for that matter. But look, the guy's scummy. He has friends who are scummy. And I would imagine at some point, and I think the reason why there's so much scrutiny with this is Jeffrey Epstein style. I think he has a list of clients or people that participated in these pre-calls. And I've heard some rumblings that it goes all the way up to New York-based politicians. So I think there's more layers to uncover here, and I don't even think he's the person that they're really going after. So I'm waiting to see how this goes.
I thought it was a bit strange when they raided his home, and then all of a sudden there's no information after that. Like that blew my mind. That Diddy got more charges than the second Trump assassination or shooter.
Right.
That how does he get how does he get less charges than that person? And we still don't, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But with Diddy getting these 3 charges, from what I read on there and what I've heard as well too, anything could be considered, trafficking now. It's almost like the trafficking definition has changed. It's become like, if you fly a chick out, you can get hit with trafficking charges. If you have some type of exchange of money or some type of financial gain, or maybe you say you're going to pay for, one way in, and, if you don't perform, one way out or something, that can be all considered trafficking. And I know they won't go after every person, but if you're a celebrity or someone with some status or something, it's easy to throw in trafficking charges. So for a lot of folks, I mean, the people that like to get flew out, that's over. That's done. You won't be getting flowed out anymore. You got to get that on your own dime or come to the city.
So, first of all, they found 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube. What is this Negro doing?
Yeah,
I can't get past that. The other thing is, I think.
Well, real quick, I look. I can. Okay, if I'm Diddy, you could probably explain away the lube. Like if you honestly, I think a lot of celebrities probably got lube and all those crazy toys and whatever, just because they're celebrities. They always gonna have a harem of women around. So I think you can get away with that. I don't know about the baby oil. That's just, unless you got some type of endorsement deal with Johnson & Johnson, I just don't get it. I don't know what you can do.
I'll take it even further. There's only 2 types of people that need that much lube. If you're dealing with a woman who can't get going down there anymore without some help, or if you prefer to be in the presence of other men.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm not saying that's the case here, but one of them things got to be true. You don't need that much lube, man.
Diddy has definitely put himself in a terrible situation. And once you get on the radar, once you upset the powers that be, once you become a target, because remember, Diddy was on the Democrat side. Remember that Vote or Die campaign that he pushed out? He was in the front of it, trying to get Barack Obama. And then he got a key to the city in New York. So everyone was loving Diddy until now. And it's just really weird that had it been for the Adult Survivors Act, which they use to weaponize against Trump, because E. Jean Carroll said Trump assaulted her back in 2010, but she didn't know the date. There's a whole conversation that people will definitely overlook. And if I'm being really true about, if I'm going to be honest about this is how a lot of Black men got arrested. Is that someone said something happened, to you, and you get locked up no matter what. And so if you fast forward, it's kind of like it's working in reverse, or it's coming back again, because now you have people like someone like Diddy, this case doesn't come to fruition unless we have that Cassie lawsuit, which Diddy could have settled that Cassie lawsuit. And I don't know if that tape even comes out. That's a crazy thing. He dropped, well, as soon as that tape dropped, he dropped the money, and then you start seeing all the victims. So this thing definitely it doesn't smell right, and then also it comes across like there's just like a whole system behind it where they're trying to go after and make an example out of Diddy. So he's a celebrity. He put himself in that situation. Nobody's making any excuses for him, but also if they're going to make an example out of Diddy, then who else won't they make an example out of? Because this is insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I think, and I'm gonna take this back to Deshaun Watson for just a second, because what people aren't talking about with him, because this is kind of similar, is that he's winning most of his appeal lawsuits, and he's winning on the basis of text message consent. When you texting somebody that you're about to smash or mess with for the night, you need to specifically say, hey, look, this is what I'm calling you over here for. Are you cool with that? Yes or no? Keep it moving. You need, and of course, there are those people that think consent can change at any given time, but at least you have some sort of way to defend yourself if you got some sort of conversation somewhere where it's shown that everything was good to go.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. So essentially when it comes down to like the Diddy case, I think Diddy is going behind bars for a long time. I don't think he's ever going to get out of prison, because if you look at what they did to R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, they actually broke the law for Bill Cosby. That I do remember. I didn't really stay on top of the Bill Cosby was breaking the law too, but the crazy thing is Bill Cosby had a I guess what do you call those things? He had a previous conversation or something. He had a deal, essentially. He had a deal with them, telling them like, hey, I'll tell you, I'll cop to these crimes, and you can't arrest me for them, which is a crazy deal that they put forth in front of him, but it is what it is, I guess. So, but they used that deal against him in another rape allegation, and so that's why he was released. And people were like, "Oh my God, justice wasn't served." No, they broke the law, is what they did, and the prosecuting team should have known that. They should have known that deal was in place, but they decided to. They didn't care. So that's in R. Kelly. The whole thing with R. Kelly, I think, is still kind of weird though. But I know minors were involved, so can't dive too much into that though, because it's like once you got minors involved, it's a wrap. So. People say that with Diddy, but I haven't heard anything, any minor conversation come up though. But I wouldn't be surprised, like, because you know how these the Hollywood established elite, how they roll. So
I have no sympathy for anybody who commits crimes against kids, and nothing has been confirmed here in that regard yet. But the truth will come out at some point.
Yeah, exactly. So all right, we're gonna wrap that up and go to the next topic.